Hello, this is Aki. Today I would like to inform you a system that allows you to lower your Japanese income tax when you send money to your grandparents, children, or relatives abroad. I've got a question. I want to send money to my family member, but I would be in trouble if I could not pay my taxes, and even if sending money to family members will lower my taxes, how do I proceed? Actually, there are some rules exist for paying less taxes when sending money to your family abroad. For example, remitting a certain amount to an out-of-country family member over age 69 will legally reduce taxes by 62,000 yen, assuming an income tax rate of 5% and 10% resident tax. This is the part you should know about. The official name is 国外居住親族にかかる扶養控除等. It means exemption for dependents relating to overseas resident relatives. And I will proceed a way to save on taxes by someone who live in Japan sending money to family member outside of Japan. By watching this video, you will understand what to watch out for when remitting money to having the proper documents. You will also understand the detail of the revision. It has recently become more challenging to prove an application of this income tax deduction because it has been used too often inappropriately. I will also explain this area in detail. If you watch this video and want more information about Japan's tax system, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I will also sending out a regular email newsletter with information on tax benefits for freelancers and owner-present who speak English better than Japanese in Japan. If interested, please sign up for the registration form in the overview section. Okay, first let's understand that remitting money to family members outside the country reduces income taxes. One of the basic principles of income tax is that the tax is levied on the ability to pay tax. For example, if someone earns 5 million yen, imposing 6 million yen in taxes is wrong. If you ask the person to pay more than the person earns, he or she will have no choice but to borrow money, which is particularly impossible. It is also strange to impose a tax of 5 million yen on a person who earns 5 million yen because he or she has living expenses. Then from the 5 million yen, for example, you spend 3 million yen and have 2 million yen left as cash. Can all the remaining money be used for taxes? No, because you will also save it. Then the amount you can pay as tax should be much smaller than this 2 million yen. If you go by this way of thinking, if you spend money from this 2 million yen to your family overseas, you will have even less money on hand and less ability to pay taxes. Since less money will be available to pay taxes, the direction is to reduce the amount of taxes. If you intend to use this system well, you should actively consider sending money to your family members abroad. In addition, since sending cash to your family member properly may not reduce your tax liability, it is necessary to sending money to them properly and collect the documentary evidence. Let's take a close look at the details. So what you need to understand about this method of sending money to family members abroad to reduce taxes is who is eligible and what documents are required. Who is eligible for remittance? There are 3 requirements: blood relative up to 6th degree of kinship and in-law up to the 3rd degree of kinship. The second point is the taxpayer and his or her family member living together in the same livelihood. The third point is total annual income of the family member should be equal to or less than 480,000 yen. So the example is non-resident and children studying abroad have not been in Japan for more than 1 year. But their revision after January 2023, it adds 38万円送金要件 to 30 to 69 years old. So 16 to 29 years old and 70 years old and over, we need documents related to relatives and remittance. That's everything. There are additional conditions for those ages 30 to 69. If he or she study abroad, certificate of study abroad is necessary. If he or she is disabled, no additional document but needs satisfy this criteria in Japan. Others, we need a certificate to receiving a remittance of 380,000 yen. If you have not actually remitted the money, you will not be able to receive the deduction for this age group. For spouses, the age limitation remains unchanged. Family member study abroad does not require 380,000 yen remittance document but need remittance documents. So what is a document related to relatives and the remittance are required? Document related to relatives, handling one of the following documents as the document for proving related to relatives. A copy of family register or other document issued by the national or local government, and a copy of the passport that the relative residing abroad. As a second, document issued by a foreign government or foreign local public entity limited to those stating the name, date of birth, and domiciling or residence of the overseas resident relatives. As this document, you cannot use driver's license. That is not enough. And the document issued by a foreign government means family register and other similar documents, birth certificate, or marriage certificate. And document of remittance is one of the following, and if it's not in Japanese, a translation also required. First one is document or copy of document of a financial institute that clearly shows that the payment was made by a resident to an overseas resident relative through a foreign exchange transaction conducted by the financial institution. The second one is a document or copy of document from so-called credit card issuer that clearly shows that an expatriate relatives has received or will receive from the resident an amount of money equivalent to the purchase price of the good due to the expatriate relatives' purchase of the goods by presenting the card issuer by the credit card issuer. Thirdly, document or copy of document, the electronic means of payment to business operator that clearly shows that the payment was made from a resident to an overseas resident relatives through the transfer of electronic means of payment. And please note, if you deliver cash by hand, it is not applicable. You need a certificate of money transfer for each person, so sum up transfer can only certify or transfer for one person. As the certificate for students studying abroad, a student visa is required. For the disabled, no additional document. Others require a remittance document of 380,000 yen or more. If you are an employee, your company makes the adjustment. In this case, keep in mind the timing of application for dependents to be submitted at the beginning of a year and the remittance-related documents required at the end of the year are different. Make sure you understand the standard system of the reduction. And please note that this system has become stricter. Until 2015, no specific certification was required. The stipulation was those whose total income is less than 380,000 yen. Therefore, the 2016 amendment made kinship and the remittance document mandatory. This is why it's stricter. In addition, if your company is making a year-end adjustment, the burden of any false tax return will be borne by the company. Specifically, the company will happen to shoulder the temporary tax burden. If you're an employee and the company is making the year-end adjustment and there is a problem, if you are an employee and the company is making the year-end adjustment and there is a problem, it can lead to trouble with the company. If you file tax return by yourself, false declaration can lead to the possibility of additional taxes later. Be sure to make proper calculation and prepare proper documentation. Everyone has an incentive to reduce the amount of taxes they pay. However, even if you do not reduce your taxes, understanding how taxes work can increase your conviction about the amount of taxes you owe. For this reason, I recommend understanding how it works. As of today's content, if you send money to a family member living abroad, you may be able to use the income tax deduction. And we need to understand the required document. It was revised 2023. There are detailed rules, but let's get them in order and use what we can. In this channel, I provide a solution to the deepest concerns of Japanese taxation. I hope this channel will help beginners and intermediate level taxpayers understand the Japanese taxation system and help them in daily lives and business in Japan. If you are interested, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.